Well, can I just thank both Paola and you, Peter, for an excellent last session. I'm not going to make any long closing remarks as we're already at dusk, but we've had a great meeting. The theme of this meeting was obviously looking at the present year and looking forward to 2012. And I think we can already confidently say that we're going to have a very busy 2012. I'm reminded just very briefly of one of the slides which my good friend Bert Lufkin showed this afternoon, which talked about regulatory governance and regulatory science. And I think what we've seen in this meeting is excellent discussion of both regulatory governance, but also underpinned by good regulatory science. Before I do make those closing remarks, though, I just want to make one additional remark, which is that I think most people in the room by now, but perhaps not all, will be aware that in terms of our European family of regulation, we lost a very valued member last week with the death of Shirley Norton. Shirley Norton maybe was small in stature, but I think in terms of her contribution was one of the giants, which perhaps Professor Walker referred to last night, on which the system was built. Shirley had joined, and I remember recruiting her in 1984 to the then Medicines Division of the Department of Health. She'd had a number of roles in drug regulation, but in particular, I think, had played a seminal part in building both the mutual recognition system and particularly in the CMDH. So perhaps we could just remember her, and more particularly her husband, for all the contribution that she had made, and also particularly the contribution she made to TOPRA over many years. With that, can I just bring our meeting to a close today? As I say, I think on behalf of TOPRA, I hope you've had an excellent meeting, a lot of lively discussion, and we had an excellent evening yesterday. But as we've said before, these meetings don't just happen. They come about through a huge amount of hard work. I'd particularly like to pay a thanks to Brendan James and all his working party, who've done an absolutely fantastic job in bringing the programme together, getting everybody here and giving us such a lively time. So can we just give some applause to Brendan and all the working party. Could I equally add a very sincere thanks to Tony Humphreys and all the members of the EMA staff who've made us most welcome, and this really has been a great co-hosted meeting, and we very much hope and expect and are planning to do the same next year. Tony, I don't know if I want to make the final remark, whether you wanted to say anything on behalf of the agency?
I can do, actually, if you just thanks very much, David, and indeed it's late on Friday afternoon. The 2 days have been rather intense. It's always a very rich program that we put together, and I think it's very appropriate indeed to understand what the system has been built on, and certainly Dr. Shirley Norton will be very sadly missed by many members working inside this agency, in particular, as David has said, the coordination group, where she played an absolutely huge part over the years. And I think it's very fortuitous that David was here in his capacity as a former boss and colleague of Shirley, that we could actually make that remark together. In terms of the program, it's been very rich, and I hope that we've met the various expectations. He's already referred to, David has referred to Brenton with respect to the program that's put it together. It is very much an agency with TOPRA sort of co-development, as it were, and that's a very good thing. It's built on the foundation of an initial BIRA, MHRA, MCA in those days, Christmas cracker type experience, and I think we should try to continue it into the future, 2012. In terms of colleagues inside the agency, I would have to particularly also ask for consideration of Marilyn Pinheiro, who's been absolutely pivotal, working with Chris Bailey on the real nitty-gritty of putting these things together, and she's supported by another one of our colleagues entirely, Kinga, who sorts out the external arrangements, as it were, to make these things happen. Going forward to next year, 2012 is going to be absolutely challenging. Peter said we saved the best wine till last. Let's hope it's going to mature very well in the bottle and remain very drinkable vintage at the end of next year. We've got the Olympics challenge. It's an Olympian challenge to bring on board the pharmacovigilance system, and I think we will have a very good basis back end of next year to reflect on how we progress through. And without further ado, then, I would like very much to thank you for your presence here, and safe journeys home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My final thank you must go to the staff of TOPRA, to Christopher Bailey in particular, but to Linda, Janine, and all the staff. There's been quite a lot of illness and events in the office, so they've done a doubly fantastic job to get all this together. So a big round of applause for the office staff at TOPRA. We in TOPRA will be arranging a very active programme for 2012 to keep at pace with this, so do watch out for that. It is Advent Sunday on Sunday, so I think I can now perhaps wish you all a very happy Christmas and a great new year, and look forward to seeing you in many TOPRA events. So I'll close the meeting. Safe return to all your other homes in Europe and to those travelling outside Europe. So thank you very much. Happy Christmas, and we'll see you in 2012. Thank you.